back to Sonic High School's Sports Blast.
Thanks for coming back. Bill Courtney is a coach, author, and motivational speaker. Every week he comes on the show to spread inspiring message from his book, Against the Grain.
A legacy is an interesting word because it's often thought of as some dead guy who left a legacy. I don't see it that way. There was a 19th century Freemason that said this. His name was Albert Pike. What you do for yourself in this world dies with you. What you do for another lives forever and remains immortal. I think that's exactly what a legacy is. You can accumulate wealth, you can win a lot of trophies, you can build a big house, but when you die, that stuff's gone. In fact, most times the government's going to tax it, and all your heirs are going to argue over who gets what, and it's going to be split up, and nobody's going to remember anything about you. See, because what you do for yourself in this life, it'll die when you die. What you do for another, now that lives forever and remains immortal. Considering that, if you think about all the tenets and characteristics we're talking about, to have a life that goes against the grain, how much are you giving to someone else just for the benefit of them, not for your own self? I've been very blessed, like I've told you, and I've built a business and coached some good football teams and done a lot in my life, and it has been a blessing, but that's not my legacy. That stuff is gone when I'm gone. Let me tell you what my legacy is. One day there's going to be a 5-year-old that comes up and says, "Hey, Dad, I got picked on in kindergarten. How do I handle that?" Or an 11-year-old says, "Dad, I'm struggling in math class. How do I deal with that?" Or a 14-year-old that says, "Hey, Dad, I got a crush on this little girl. How do I do that?" Or a 19-year-old says, "Dad, I'm going through my first year in college and I'm struggling. What do I do?" Or a 26-year-old says, "Dad, I'm married and my husband's been unfaithful to me. What do I do with that?" Or a 36-year-old says, "Dad, I've got breast cancer. What do I do?" Or a 45-year-old says, "Dad, I've been working at the same company since I graduated school and they've just laid me off. How do I handle that?" Or a 50-year-old that says, "Dad, you've given me advice along my whole life and it's meant everything to me. Thank you." And it's very likely that the advice that child gets from their dad is something that dad heard from his football coach on a football field one day. And if that's my legacy, I'll take it. Because see, Albert Pike was right. All the stuff that we can accumulate in the world, it dies with us. But what I've done for another, now that can remain immortal and be given down generation to generation. We've got to go against the grain, y'all. We've got to go against the grain of this selfish, uncivilized, uncivil, argumentative society that we've developed. We've got to break down barriers. We've got to get out of our comfort zone. We've got to listen to one another. And then we've got to serve one another. And when we serve one another for the benefit of nobody but the person we're serving, then we leave a legacy that lasts long after our years are over. Think about that. I'm Bill Courtney.
And to get a copy of Against the Grain, head to CoachBillCourtney.com and pick one up. Our Impact Player of the Week going to Horn Lake's Jitarius Gordon. The man had 40 points on Friday in a consolation game win over DeSoto Central. Gordon headed to Northern Arizona University, repping the Big Sky.
And for our Play of the Week, DJ, spin that beat. Or just throw down dunk after dunk. Olive Branch's DJ Jeffries dunked not once, but twice in the first quarter, making getting highlights easy. As always, we appreciate it.
Got a chance to talk to Jeffries. You saw him. He said he feels like he is a better version of Kevin Durant in high school. That is pretty special.
Well then,
yeah.
Ending on that note,
Yes.
Join us next week for another edition of Sonic High School Sports Blast. For everyone here at CW30, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your week.
Thanks for watching the Sonic High School Sports Blast. This week's show is brought to you by Sonic, America's Drive-In, and by Family Leisure, where family and fun come together.